Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Shayna Cersei. I'm so excited to paint with you today. Today we're going to do another page in our watercolor journals. And if you're new here, I am using a 6x9 watercolor sketchbook. This is a Balhong brand. It is 100% cotton paper, 140-pound cold press. I'm using my Core QOR by Golden Mini palette of watercolor paints today. And I have a couple of brushes with me, a size 10 and a size 3, both Princeton brushes. And of course, a paper towel, some waters, and some extra palette mixing space here. You can definitely go to the description in the video for any links to supplies and materials that I use. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment. So today we're going to be doing a nice quick page. It's beautiful outside today. It's been raining a lot all week, so I'm ready to get outdoors. So I'm going to do a quick little sketch and paint. We're going to do some thistle. And then I'm going to go out and find some more watercolor painting inspiration in the great outdoors. All right, y'all, so let's get started. So I am using, very simply, this Bic number 2 0.7 millimeter mechanical pencil. I think it was one of my kids from their backpack laying around. It doesn't even have an eraser on it anymore. It doesn't have to be fancy. Whatever pencil you have lying around would be great. The lead is even, or the, not lead, graphite is falling out of the back of it. Just try not to get anything softer than a number 2, because then you start to smudge your graphite. Okay, so I am, and in this particular one, we are going to be leaving the pencil lines. We're not going to be erasing and making it really light. The pencil lines are going to be part of it. It's going to kind of be like a light version of ink and wash. It's not going to be ink, it's going to be graphite, but we're going to leave it dark enough that you can see it in the image. And once you paint over graphite, it becomes permanent. So if you're using a really soft graphite, that's why I said nothing softer than a number 2, it will smudge with water, but then become permanent. But if you're using a harder pencil 2 or like a harder drawing pencil. Let's see if I have an example in here. Again, my graphite is falling out the back. So something like, excuse me, something like this, and the numbers on here, this is a 5H, so 5 hard, is going to draw very lightly. So number 2 is this, number 3, 4, 5, and you can go up to like 8 and 10, which is very, very light. All right, so let's get started. We are going to simply, I'm going to draw some thistle today. I'm going to start with kind of a U shape at the bottom, and then the top of our thistle. I love these flowers. They're not, I don't think, considered very desirable for a lot of people if you have it native in your area, but I think they're very cool. So they're very spiky, and they're pinks and purples and blues. So I'm just going across the top, making little spiky petals here. So they're very thin petals basically, and they have jagged tops, and I'm curving them outward as I go. So the ones in the middle are more straight up and down, and the ones out to the sides are a little curved. But then I'm also going to take some shorter ones and bring them downward. And I'm going to continue to fill in here just with some lines. And then this, I do need an eraser a little bit. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to try to erase and make this lighter. I am going to take out some unwanted lines. So down here, I didn't need, I made my little, the bottom of my thistle a little too small. And then this is also textured. I'm just going to put a little texture on there, these little tiny overlapping bits. Okay, so there's the head of my thistle. I'm gonna bring the stem down. We'll put in some leaves in a minute. Okay, let's do another one. Actually going to start with the top on this one, and I'll put in the bottom at the end. I tried to put it in to begin with, and then I realized I ran out of space. And you can zoom in as much as you want, make these as big as you want on your page. I think I'm running out of this graphite. Let's see. There we go. I got a new one in there. This is very sketch. I'm not being super purposeful with all my lines, but I am going in confidently with my sketching. A few downward petals, maybe one out to the side a little bit. And then the bottom of it is more narrow at the top, like it's narrow here and it gets wider as it goes down, kind of like a pineapple shape. And then I am going to do some of these overlapping. You can make some lines darker than others for some interest and texture. And we haven't even gotten to the painting part yet, so hold for painting. Let's do a third one over here. I'll make this one a little smaller, like it's not quite fully bloomed yet. All right, so I have 3 lovely little thistles. Let's put in some leaves. All right, so the leaves and the greenery around it are also very spiky or jagged. So just on the bottom here, there's gonna be some spiky leaves that come out this way, thin. And then, let's see if I can recall, the leaves themselves are very like, they probably have a very specific shape like this. I'm just gonna approximate it. All right, so we have a nice little thistle plant. Let's get to some painting. I am going to take, actually, you know what? I said I have a size 10 and a size 3. I think I'm just going to use the size 3 for this. Let's start with some sap green. I can mix over here. And I'm just going to start to kind of fill in or go over the lines of the stems, and also fill in my leaves. You can leave some white space, and I'm going to drop in additional color. Can mix it with a little Payne's gray to make it darker green. Let's give it some shadows. And you're gonna end up covering up some of the pencil line, and that's fine, but our goal is not to like not see any pencil lines. They're totally fine. In this particular case. And again, we can always come back to these. We can put down a base layer, and we can layer in some more shadows. Okay. This bottom part is also, I'm going to go in with a yellow. So this is a bismuth yellow first. And then we're going to put darker green over top of it to kind of create the texture that we drew in. And now the thistle part, the actual flowering part. So let's see, what color do we want to use? I have some magenta here. I also have some Dioxazine purple. I have, you know what, let's use magenta. Let's make our own purple. Magenta and Ultramarine. And I'm going to make two versions. Make a bluer version and a more magenta version of our purple. I think that's good. And we're going to start to come in here with my magenta one. I'm going to start here in the middle. I'm going to take my brush. I'm just going to pull some of that color up. Big water droplet on my brush there to get rid of. And I am going to want these darker, like right in the middle here where they split, where some go down and some go up, because that gives us that depth. You can always add a little Payne's gray. Drop that in the center there. Just let it do its thing, wet on wet. I love using Ultramarine to make purples because Ultramarine in particular separates, and it will do a little bit of, so if you don't like that look, it's a granulating color, it's a heavier mineral, I guess, that makes the color. And as it dries, even on the tray, you'll see it separates a lot. But then as it dries, you can even see a little separation on the paper, and I think that just gives it a lot more interest. Overall, the color still looks purple if you mixed a purple, but I think it gives it a little bit more interesting texture, depth. All right, I'm gonna let those dry. Let's do this one over here in this combination of pinky purple. This one's somewhere in between, going crazy. And I'm gonna come back to this one, go even darker in the center here. I just love contrast in something like this. I don't want it to be subtle. That's just me. All right, let's let those dry a little bit. This yellow color is it's dry now. I'm gonna come in with our sap green and a little Payne's gray. And we're just gonna go through and make almost like these overlapping scales. Oh, my tummy is rumbling. All right, now we could stop there, and this is lovely, but I'm gonna go back. So let's see, let's get some ultramarine and magenta to my thistle and add, let's see, is this dark enough or dry enough? I'm gonna add another layer of darker. Shadows. That just highlight and create a little more contrast in some of the areas. Even this purpley one, we can go right in with this pink. Right to the middle there. This one's still a little damp, but that's okay. And even with our green, if we want to go back in with our sap green and Payne's gray mixture, that gives us this deep kind of olivey color. go back under here. I'm going right up under the petals to create kind of a shadow underneath there. And then let's see on the side of some of the stems. And some of the leaves. Underside of the stem, give it a little shadow. And you can use this to emphasize some of the edges of your leaves, this darker color. But I'm almost like sketching with my paintbrush like I did with the pencil. Kind of going up and down, adding in. There we go. Something about this petal right here, I just needed to add a little bit more. There we go. All right. We're all done with our lovely little thistle and pencil drawing. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this quick little idea for you, but don't be afraid to use your pencil and let your pencil line show. It can definitely have its own overall aesthetic and feel to it. So if you like that look, go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, share with a friend, or save for later. Feel free to leave a comment, and don't forget to check out that description for links to supplies and materials. Okay, y'all, take care and happy painting. I'll see you for our next page very soon.